Oh, and the other door too, Mitzi. I was telling Mitzi to shut my doors. Oh, and the other door too, Mitzi. I was telling Mitzi to shut my doors. Looks like I have everyone here today. Good morning. Is everyone hearing me okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We are no longer in our homes or in our offices. We are in the Andrews Municipal Court, and I do expect a quorum. If you wish to be heard or want to raise an objection, you must raise your hands. This hearing is being recorded and is streaming live online. You are prohibited from recording this on your own. Failure to comply could result in a contempt of court charge. At this time, I'm addressing Mr. Bithow. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Before we continue, I do need to make sure you understand you are waiving certain rights by taking part in this online bench trial. You are waiving your right to face your accuser in person, your right to a trial by jury, and while you retain your right to an appeal on the merits of the case, you're waiving your right to appeal on the procedure. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Cheek, would you please read the complaint?
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, on or about the 23rd of February, 2020, in the city of Andrews, state of Texas, Kuel Bithow violated the transportation code by traveling at a speed that was greater than was reasonable and prudent under circumstances then existing against the peace and dignity of the state.
You understand the charge against you, sir?
Yes.
At this time, how do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
Ms. Cheek, do you have any opening statement?
No, Your Honor, I waive.
You may proceed by calling your first witness.
I'll call Sergeant Cunningham.
Officer Cunningham, would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the statement that you give in this case be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may continue.
Sir, please state your name
Daryl Cunningham.
and how are you employed?
I'm a sergeant with the City of Andrews Police Department.
And how long have you been with them?
I'm in my 13th year.
Are you a certified peace officer in this state?
Yes, ma'am.
What education or training did you undergo to become certified?
I attended the Odessa College Police Academy, and upon graduation, I completed the certifying exam through the state.
And were you employed with the City of Andrews Police Department on February 23rd of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you on duty that day at approximately 11:45 in the morning?
Yes, ma'am. I was working a traffic enforcement assignment.
Okay, and where were you located?
I was sitting stationary in the 1400 block of Southwest Mustang on the north side of the road.
Okay. And did a vehicle happen to catch your attention?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was this vehicle in relation to you?
It initially was behind me. It was traveling westbound.
And what kind of vehicle was it?
It was a red semi-truck, a Kenworth, I believe.
And what about it caught your attention?
As the vehicle passed by, I observed that it appeared to be traveling at a high rate of speed,
Okay. What is the posted speed limit in that area?
35 miles an hour.
And is making visual observations of speed violations part of your training and experience?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you do to confirm your visual observation?
I activated the front antenna unit for my in-car radar.
And what indication did that radar unit give you?
That red semi was traveling at 49 miles an hour.
And what did you do after confirming your visual observation with the radar unit?
I effected a traffic stop.
Did the driver of the vehicle pull over in a timely and appropriate fashion?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you identify yourself when you made contact with the driver and explain the reason for the stop?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the driver on this Zoom hearing today?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
Could you maybe tell us what color shirt he's wearing?
It looks to be kind of a salmon color.
May the record reflect, or the court please note that the witness has identified the defendant.
So noted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And do you recall if the defendant made any statements to you about the alleged violation?
He explained that there was another vehicle. I believe that he was claiming that he was kind of the same speed as, but I indicated that when I checked their speed, that vehicle was shown to be doing the speed limit. And as he was passing that vehicle, that also showed that he was traveling at a higher rate of speed than them, which substantiated the 49 miles an hour.
And what citations, if any, did you issue?
I issued a citation for speeding. And then Mr. Bithow also asked me what the speed limit was for the zone, so kind of indicated that he wasn't aware of what the speed limit was at the time.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Bithow, do you have any questions for this witness?
No, I just have a comment.
You cannot enter any comments at this time, but you can ask questions of the officer. Ms. Cheek,
Okay.
do you have anything further?
I have no further questions of this witness at this time. I reserve the right to recall and the state rests.
Mr. Bithow, at this time, the state has rested. Do you have any witnesses of your own?
No.
Okay, do you wish to make an opening statement for yourself?
Yes.
Making any statement cannot be held against you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. On the date that I was coming to Andrew, I worked in Texas, the sand hauler.
Okay, sir.
I worked.
So if you're going to go ahead and make a statement, let me go ahead and read go ahead and swear you in. So if you'll raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, sir, you may continue.
Yes, as I stated, I work in Texas. I'm a sand hauler. I worked there for 2 years. I come through city of Andrew more than one time. I was aware of the speed limit. I did not ask the officer what the speed limit was. The speed limit was 35, and then it changed to 45, and then it will go on. I was leaving the pilot, so there was no way I could have took off at 45. The semi truck, it takes time to kick off. It just don't take off at 45 miles per hour. So I told the officer that I was not speeding because I was behind another vehicle. So I was not the only one on the road at that time. So the officer say he was standing on the side of the road and he saw me speeding. He did not say he was behind me because there was no cops behind me. But now on his statement, he's saying that he was behind me. But he said he was standing on the side of the road on the northbound. So that seemed to be not what I was told when I would get pulled over. He said he was standing on the side of the road. So to me, I was not speeding at that day because I would literally just took off from the pilot and filling up. So that's the only statement I can think of. And like I stated, I know the 3 speed limit from Andrew, when you leave the town, coming out of town, start from 35 to 45 to 55. I was definitely aware of that.
Okay. Ms. Cheek, do you have any questions for Mr. Bithow?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Bithow, is that all that you wish to say?
Yes,
And at this time, do you wish to rest?
yes.
Ms. Cheek?
Your Honor, I'd like to recall Sergeant Cunningham.
Okay. Mr. Cunningham, you are aware that you are under oath?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I just want to clarify some of your testimony after the defendant's testimony. So you were in your car stationary on the side of the road, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And which side of the road were you on?
On the north side of the road.
Okay. And the defendant was, you testified the defendant was coming up from behind you, so he was headed westbound.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you were on the north side of the road facing west.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the speed violation, did that occur when he was behind you or after he passed you, or both?
When he passed me is when I noticed the vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed.
Okay. Did you observe this other vehicle that the defendant has been discussing?
I don't remember exactly what it was. I believe it was like a small passenger car, 4-wheel car.
Okay. When did you observe the defendant passing that vehicle? When it was behind you or when it was in front of you, or do you recall?
It was in front of me.
Okay. So both cars passed you and then you saw the defendant pass the pilot car, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it was at that point that you activated your radar to confirm the speed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was there anything else you felt like you needed to clarify after the defendant's testimony?
I would just like to note the distance between the pilot and where I'm sitting is about an 8-block distance. Just to have that distance noted for acceleration. And then my radar is equipped to radar 2 speeds at once. It can indicate the speed of a vehicle, and then if there's a vehicle traveling faster, it will also designate the faster speed, which is how I was able to compare the speed between the 2 vehicles.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Bithow, do you have any questions of the officer?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The officer stated that I was behind him, and he said that more than one time now that he was staging at the northbound. So he was staging, he was not driving when we came and passed him. So that would be a correction for me. Another question would be, If they any proof that the officer did not scan the car that was in front of me instead of me, because if there's a VIN number identified the two speed, because now he's stating that his radar is capable of scanning two different speeds. So now it seems that if he scanned the first car, and then there's no way that it could have been me, because I don't think there's a VIN number showing that it could have been me. And I'm sure that he scanned the first car that was in front of me. So we passed him. That's what he said. I didn't see him on the road. So I'm sure it was true that he was staging on the northbound, that he was sitting down. We did not pass him. So we passed him, two cars passing him. He's on northbound, one car in front of me. I'm behind that car. So there's no way I could have been speeding more than the car that was in front of me. So those will be the correction that I want to make.
Donna, I'm not sure those were actually questions for the witness, but I would like to recall the witness.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so when you are saying you were stationary the whole time,
Yes, ma'am.
and when you say it was behind you, that just means the vehicle was located in back of your car. You're not saying he was traveling behind you, correct?
It was to the east of my location initially, and they passed by where I was sitting.
And then when your radar unit takes, just in this case or any case, when your radar unit gives you two speeds, then you use your visual observations to determine which car has the faster speed and which car has the slower speed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It doesn't scan a VIN number or a license plate associated with the speed. It's up to the officer using it to visually determine which vehicle is traveling faster in the case of like passing one to assign the higher speed to that vehicle.
And that was a situation in this case, you had two speeds and you had one vehicle passing the other. So the vehicle passing the other one would be the higher speed that was on your radar unit.
Yes, ma'am.
Which in this case was the defendant's car passing the other car. So you assigned it the 49 reading on your radar.
Yes, ma'am.
Pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Bithow, do you have any questions? Not a statement, but do you have any questions for the officer?
Yes.
Just questions. Go ahead.
Yes, officer, we pass you. How would you say I pass you when two cars passing you at the same time? You staging on the northbound, then we coming and pass you where you staged at. We was not behind you. So how would you determine which car is speeding when the other car is behind the other cars?
Okay.
Because if the other car was in front of me, there's no way I would be the one that's speeding.
Okay. That portion of Southwest Mustang is a 2-lane road. So I'm standing on the north side of the roadway to the north of it. I'm not in the north. There's not a northbound lane. So I'm off of the road to the north, meaning both lanes of travel for westbound traffic are open. That's how one vehicle could pass the other vehicle. It's not a 1-lane road. It's a 2-lane road for that direction of travel. I was sitting stationary to the north of the roadway, not in the northbound lane.
May I add something, Your Honor?
Sir,
May I add something?
may you add something? At this time, you can just ask questions.
Okay.
Another question for him.
Well, I was just gonna make a correction because the truck's supposed to stay on the right lane. I
Okay,
was
you can
behind the
only
car.
ask
I did not
questions,
pass.
sir. You can only
Okay.
ask a question.
Okay. No further question.
Okay, Ms. Cheek.
I have no further questions of this witness at this time. I reserve the right to recall, and again, the state rests.
Okay, so the state has again rested, sir. Are you ready to enter closing arguments? Mr.
No.
Do you have any closing arguments that you wish to enter?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, my close argument will be the statement the officer are saying are not adding up. Because at first he's saying that we was passing him. He's staging on the northbound. I do understand there's 2 lanes on the road, but the trucks always stay on the left. So I was not passing the other vehicle. And my other argument is that if there's no proof that I was the one who was speeding. He just scanned 2 speed, and then now he say he's gonna put the highest speed to me. Then I don't think that's correct, because there must be a proof that this particular car was speeding, because it could have been a mistake that it was the first car that he scanned it. So that would be my only argument, because it does not add up that you scan 2 different speed, but then now you want to put this speed to whoever you want to put it to, just because you see that they're the one who, or they seem to be driving fast. The way the truck move and the way the regular car move are 2 separate things. The truck might juggle, it does not mean they're speeding. So there's no way I could have been doing 49 on that little city. That's out of question. That's the first thing we see when we come to a small city as the truck drivers. We slow down. If he caught me on the highway, it could have been different. That little street from the pilot, traveling, leaving the city of Andrew, there's no way you could do a 49 miles per hour on a semi truck on those little 2 lanes. Thank you.
Ms. Cheek, did you wish to enter a closing argument?
Your Honor, I believe that the officer's testimony speaks for itself.
Okay, thank you. Based on the testimony that has been entered today, I am going to find Mr. Bithow not guilty of this charge. There is some question about the possibility that there could have been a chance that it may have not been him, and without a video to show otherwise, I'm going to find him not guilty in this case. Mr. Bithow, you are free from any charges to this case, and you do not have to pay anything on this case, and this case is closed. Thank you all so much for this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll leave this.
Have a great day.